REWRITTEN! Stephen, we need to... The hybrid boy didn't give them another moment to speak. He just bolted down the last of the stairs, sprinting towards the bathroom. Amethyst jumped to block him next to the couch while Pearl reached from the kitchen. Stephen leaped over the coffee table to dart between them, sliding across the top and ducking out of the way as Garnet dove for him. Volleyball called for him to stop, but he ignored her completely, crashing into the door and fumbling with the handle. Spinell's stretchy arms snaked towards him from across the room, but he'd already yanked the bathroom door open, slamming it shut to let her fingers hit the wooden slab, closing on empty air. But that didn't stop them permanently. He could hear their frustrated outbursts as he locked the door, safely away from their prying eyes. For now. "You're making a big mistake!" Garnet. Not this crap again!" Amethyst. "Stephen, come back out here, this instant!" Pearl. They couldn't know. They'd never know. He was going to be fine. He just had to... Stephen backed up from the door, hearing the gems rushing towards it and knocking rapidly. He didn't answer them the first few times, just calling back at them, "Everything's fine! My stomach just hurts!" Technically not a lie. He was digging through the cabinet, the mirror still cracked from last time. He tried to suppress the violent shiver as he caught a glimpse of his pink, diamond-sharp eyes again, pushing the sunglasses to block them better. But all he found in the cabinet was toothpaste, shampoo, soap, cleaner products, and towels. No diamond essence bottles. Where's... He shook his head, backing up. Then his gaze landed on the shower, tensing as he remembered where they were. Still lying in the tub, completely empty from whenever he tried to revive Jasper. "Stephen, we need to talk!" Garnet's voice came through the door. She was firm, but not furious like how Amethyst sounded. She actually sounded more scared than anything. Not right now?" he tried, not really able to pay attention as he fell down to the side of the shower in disbelief. I need... He was reaching into the tub, picking up the bottles and turning them over. Not a single drop left. He couldn't get any more, not without the other diamonds, and they were on Homeworld. The walls closed in. His fear only increased, the itching, dry warmth worsening. Dang it! No. He was stuttering, breathless, hardly able to think through the awful pain. I need to do something. I can fix this. He was interrupted as a burning lash seared up through him again in a twisting wrench, and he found himself clinging to the edge of the tub for what felt like hours, his whole body gripped with trembling spasms. He bit his tongue to stop himself from making a sound, not daring to let them know what was happening in here. His stomach constricted under the pressure and forced the remains of the sandwich to spill out of his mouth. Stephen coughed, the vile sting coating his throat, his lungs feeling like they'd collapsed, the pain getting tighter and tighter around his middle until he felt like he'd be crushed into a bloody pulp right here. He fell to the side, unable to stifle a scream, kicking desperately as he tried to breathe through the spiky mass that had taken over his belly. Finally, it let him go, right whenever he felt himself start to lose consciousness. He collapsed where he was on the tiles, his squashed lungs not knowing how to draw in air fast enough. A hand gingerly prodded the skin around his gem, ice seeming to spread through every limb from what he felt. He knew it was getting worse, so much worse. "Stephen, what's going on?" Amethyst yelled. "Just tell us!" "Nothing. It's fine," Stephen wheezed. "Bull crap!" the runty corpse snapped. "You're not fooling anybody, Stephen! You better tell us what's happening to you right now, or I'll kick your—" "Amethyst, calm," Garnet's voice was reminding her. "Stephen's not the enemy here." "I know," Stephen butted in. "I know I'm not. I'm not the enemy, right, guys?" A confused quiet followed that. Yes, of course you're not," Pearl finally replied. "Stephen, please come out of the bathroom. We're all very worried for you. We just want to talk." Her gentler words didn't hide what Amethyst had been saying. He knew that they'd be just like her if they figured it out. They'd hate him, they'd throw him out, they'd know how horrible he is, they'd expose him to the world. "What is there to talk about?" he chuckled wheezily. "Why are you guys so worried? Nothing's wrong." "We know what you did to White." Garnet's voice froze him in his tracks. There was a silence that he didn't know how to fill. "What?" he eventually whispered. "I'm sorry, Stephen," Spinell squeaked. "It was for your own good." "Spinell and Volleyball told us what happened," Garnet explained calmly. "But it's okay, Stephen. We can help stop whatever is—" Anything she said next was drowned out by the sudden, overwhelming agony that streaked outwards from his gem, the prickling, angry warmth tearing at him awfully like hooked wasp stingers that were trying to stab their way out of him. He was on the tiled floor again, writhing from the torture of it, panic beating him to death. The sounds of butterfly wings muffled in his ears, screeching at him. They knew! He was swelling again, nearly to the size of a bear, his breath coming sharply, hardly able to move. This couldn't be happening. It couldn't. He was a fraud, he was a freak, he was a fake. He'd never had a place in this family, he'd just been put here by chance. And they were figuring that out now, they were tearing away the curtains, they were discovering how truly messed up he was. They trusted him. How could he do this to them? He was hurting them, he was manipulating them all, and now he was being found out. Was it even a bad thing that they were finally told the truth? Was it fairness? Was it karma coming back to bite him after fooling them all for so long into thinking that he was a hero? They all knew that he was no better than Pink. But if he didn't want them to know that, was that even worse? Was his willingness to lie to them again yet another sign of his regression? He was supposed to fix things. He was supposed to be better. How could he ever fix this? He needed to know what to do again. He needed that more than ever now. When was the last time he knew what to do? Connie, he spilled out with a gasp. I need Connie. When he was with Connie, especially whenever they fused into Stefani, he was never alone. He felt like he could do anything, be anyone, go anywhere. She'd know what to do. Hope glimmered inside of him. He shrank back down to normal, leaving the tiles cracked from the pressure, his ears shaking away the butterfly wings briefly. The crystal gem's frantic shouts finally came to him through the door. Connie? What about Connie? Garnet. Why are you yelling? Talk to us, Stephen! Pearl. Garnet, break down the door. We gotta find out what he's doing. Amethyst. Stephen pushed himself up, calling, No, wait, it's okay. Everything's fine. I'm just... No! Amethyst cut him off with a sob, a loud pound at the door, startling him. Stop lying to us! Stephen scrambled back as the door buckled under another heavy punch. Amethyst, careful! He heard Pearl yelp, the struggling sounds of the runty quartz following that. We're not leaving until you tell us what's happening. Garnet's more collected tone came through. We'll listen, we promise. We won't get mad. We just want to help. The other gems were agreeing, beckoning for him to open the door, asking for him to just come outside so they could talk. Stephen's heart felt like it was being torn by 1,000 hooks, all of them yanking him towards his family, urging for him to say something. But he wouldn't let himself. They'd get hurt if he let himself anywhere near them, especially now. He didn't need to tell them. He just needed to get to Connie. She could support him and he'd feel safe again. The gems never had to know. Maybe he could finally try to be someone who deserved all this worry, instead of some lying mistake of a hybrid. So, tears dripping to the floor, Stephen dragged himself up, clinging onto the counter with one hand while the other stayed over his gem. He looked up to the tiny rectangular window on the corner of the bathroom, leading into the pitch-black world outside. He pushed the window open, heaving himself up onto the ledge, fighting his way through. Stephen! Pearl's voice flickered. He didn't respond. He was halfway out. Stephen, say something! Amethyst cried. Stephen dropped down onto the other side of the grass, rolling to a stop, clutching his burning gem. Stephen! Garnet suddenly shouted, the desperation breaking in her voice. Remember, we'll always be your family! The hybrid boy wiped his arm across his face, dragged himself to his feet, and started to run.